are we going to discuss this contract that they proposed to us? I want y'all to share out this video. Share it out to everybody. This should be a conversation that we all should want to take part of. Share out the show. Y'all ready? Y'all ready to discuss what's going on? Let me make sure I share it out myself first. What's going on, everyone? If you haven't heard already, our contract is done, and the E-Board voted on it already. Now, I want y'all to know the function of the E-Board. The E-Board is supposed to be the buffer between us and the union administration. The E-Board is supposed to have the members' best interest in this union. And for the E-Board to, what did they say on here? Your executive board has overwhelmingly approved the new contract. I want you guys to think about this. We're talking about contracts that affect our lives. How possibly, and I mean in a matter of a few hours, the E-Board meeting, the emergency E-Board meeting was at 4 o'clock today. It's 7 o'clock now, right? So you mean in a matter of 3 hours, the E-Board combed through our contract. And not only, this is just the main table stuff. They did not release the departmental situation yet, right? So you mean to tell me that the E-Board, within a couple of hours, felt that this deal was sufficient to overwhelmingly pass this contract, right? Normally when contracts are signed that fast, they normally are not good. I don't know sports players that sign contracts that quick. Like, how can the E-Board live with the contract only for a few hours and then vote on it when it didn't take a few hours to negotiate the contract, right? It took days, allegedly. But the E-Board voted on the contract overwhelmingly after living with it for 3 hours. And I'm curious to see who voted no, if anyone voted no, right? Now, this is the problem that we have in our union with the E-Board. A whole bunch of them, I don't know the percentage, but a whole bunch of them are released. They are released. And what I mean released, I mean that they are not doing what they were hired to do with the MTA. They are now working for the union. So now when you give an E-Board member a position with the union, who you think they go be more loyal to, the members, or they go be loyal to the administration? Because the truth is that the administration hold these release spots over the E-Board member head. So basically, if you don't go along with what I'm saying, what it is, you're going to go back to your tools. And for some reason, in this union, release time is like a drug, right? But the E-Board said yes, right, to a 9.8% compounded pay raise over the next 3 years. So the union know that we went through COVID. They know that we're going through a pandemic of assaults. They know that we're not respected. And the union negotiated a contract And like I said, the wage percentage is 9.8% over 3 years. Negotiated a wage percentage as if nothing happened in 2020, 2021, 2022. They acting like we didn't go through this pandemic. And when we allow the MTA to use words like heroes, this is not a contract that says we are heroes. This is a contract that speaks to how the MTA really view us. And we have plenty of situations that show them that show their actions on how they really think about us. 9.8% compounded pay raise over the next 3 years. Let me put that in better perspective. You see this here? They also released the wage progression, right? So a bus operator must maintain a CDL license. Bus operators is not an easy job. Bus operators will not be making over $40 an hour until 2025. 2025. We should have been at $40 an hour 5 years ago. Bus operators, you're not going to be reaching $40 until 2025. That's unacceptable. Cleaners, you're not going to be making $35 at the end of this contract. That's unacceptable. Conductors, you will not be cracking $40 for the whole term of this contract. Let me see. Now, train operator yard, if you work in the yard, you go crack $40 and sometime next year. Train operators, they go be at $41 now. But those, we should have been $40 3 years ago, right? Tower operators, you would be getting $40 in 2025. That's unacceptable. And I want to show y'all in this last column, if you could see it, it show you that most of us is getting less than a $4 raise this contract. That's less than a $4 raise this entire contract. We talking about working in a city in which we can't afford to live, and this contract does that. This contract ensures that we will not be able to survive in the city in which we work, right? $4,000, and they want to call it essential worker cash bonuses, right? So instead of them getting us our hazard pay and holding Chuck Schumer to his word when they were circle jerking each other on that Zoom, I still got that Zoom, right? That $4,000 in essential worker cash bonuses is BS. And then the way they split it up, we get $3,000 this year, $1,000 next year. How they went from hazard pay to a $4,000 essential worker bonus that I guarantee you will be taxed, right? Now, they said they held the line on healthcare costs, no increase in payroll deductions. Actually, I spoke to Michael Enriquez, and he said that our health benefits was never in trouble. And he got some information to say that the whole health benefits thing was a hoax. So we're going to explain that in a future show. The 12 weeks paid maternity leave up from 2 weeks. This wasn't a win. This is in state law. The law already said that we get 12 weeks for the maternity leave. And then the men, we get 4 weeks instead of 2 weeks. That's a concession because the 12 weeks for the leave that they negotiated in 2019 was supposed to be for 12 weeks. So I don't get why they even put that in the contract, but they doing that as a sleight of hand to make it look like that they were fighting. $4 for articulated bus rate. I really hope that it's for more than seat time. I really hope that the articulated bus rate should be for the whole day. If you got to work on an articulated bus, that should be your pay. In fact, if you are qualified, because the way 2 Broadway works is that you get paid on your qualifications. It depends what kind of degree you get, whatever the case is. If you have a CDL, you're qualified, right? If you got to drive an articulated bus, in which I'm quite sure that they train you for to drive an articulated bus. If you're qualified to drive an articulated bus, then guess what? You should be paid articulated pay even if you're not driving an articulated bus. That's how that should work. Now, they say 10 million more a year to improve dental and vision coverage. I believe that when I see it, and I would like to see what that $2 million would equal out to, because the dental coverage is trash. I don't really hear people complaining too much about the vision, but now the maintainers, they get $1,000 bonus. See, in this union, they're going to make sure they take care of the maintainers. Maintainers are always taken care of. They go up an increase of $350 from the current bonuses. New medical coverage for that. That is great. That is great. Medical coverage for COVID-19 widowers, and children. That is great. MTA bus retirees get free MTA bus passes. I don't even know why that is a question. That should have happened. Enhanced medical benefits for retirees. I would like for them to define enhanced. Bereavement time now covers grandparents, stepchildren, and grandchildren. That is good, but I don't understand why it hasn't always been. Then they have a Me Too clause on wages with Long Island Railroad and Metro North. Like we explained to you guys before, the Me Too clause is a hoax. If Long Island Railroad or Metro North get raises higher than ours, the only thing the Me Too clause say is that the union get to go back to the table to negotiate. We do not get a Me Too with them. We do not get the same thing with them. So that really means nothing. So as you can see, the 2022, let me see where it's at. You see the 2023, 3% raise, 2024, 3% raise, 2025, 3.5%. These raises do not reflect what transit workers went through 2020, 2021, 2022. This is not reflective of the appreciation and that hero stuff that they was talking. If you look under where it says MTA give back demands defeated, this is all BS. This is all fluff. Doubling of healthcare payroll deductions from 2 to 4%. The MTA is always going to say that. And like I said, Michael Enriquez got the documents to show that there was no raise on the healthcare. Everything was all good with the MTA. I'll discuss that with him on a later show. Eliminate conductor jobs with opto. See, RTO, right? What they trying to do is try to find a way to say, hey, we fought for y'all RTO, this and that. They can't eliminate a conductor jobs with opto expansion. They can't do that, right? We wasn't worried about that. Overtime only after 40 hours instead of after 8 hours per day. That's BS. Reduce vacation for new hires defeated. None of this stuff hurts the MTA. And the MTA got to be smart enough to know that more and more young people is coming on this job. First of all, the wages is starting too low, right? A lot of young people are smoking marijuana, and they not going to want to give up their marijuana to come here and make $20-something an hour. That's not how it works. And if you're trying to tell young people that it's going to take them longer to get vacation, they just wouldn't come here. And for some reason, the MTA is having a hard time retaining people. They having a hard time hiring people. So they not even in a position to reduce anything for onboard people. And we got to understand the art of negotiation. With the art of negotiation, you're always going to throw what we call them pump fakes and bluffs, right? And then when you move those pump fakes or bluffs off the table, you making it seem like, yo, I really wanted that. I got to remove it off the table. You got to give me something. Now, what is interesting, and I'm gonna check again on the union website. I'm gonna check right now. What's interesting is that they did not put out what are the departmental demands. What did we lose departmentally? They did not put that out there. And I'm wondering why they did not put that out there. It's not on the union website. They did not put that out there. We don't know what we lost departmentally. And I would like to know about the e-board. The e-board, did you see the departmental contracts? Did you see what was gained in departments and what was lost in departments and what departments were sold out? There's no way possible that you vote yes on a contract. And I want you guys, I want the people to understand this. That the e-board is the buffer between the members and the administration, the union administration. They are supposed to protect us against the union administration, right? It's like checks and balances. The e-board met at 4 p.m. today. And I don't think that it got underway probably until 20, 30 minutes after 4. The union had this on their website around 7 p.m. So the e-board looked at the contract within 3 hours and made a decision to say that this contract is good for our lives. That is enough for me to say no, right? That is not how business works. They not treating this like this is serious. The e-board should have had the opportunity to live with the contract, go back to their departments. The union should put out the contract altogether, what was proposed. Let the e-board members go back to their departments and discuss it with the members and say how they should vote. Because essentially, every e-board member is a constituent to someone or to a department in this union, right? So the e-board is like, you know what? Forget about what the constituents got to say. We don't even want to let our constituents ride on it or vote on it because we're supposed to be protecting our constituents. And I don't feel that the e-board protect the constituents, right? But there's no way possible. Listen, they say if you don't stand for nothing, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, right? That 9.8% is unacceptable. That 9.8% is unacceptable, right? Now, as far as with the paternity leave, the maternity leave, and all that other stuff, the reality of it is every member is not going to benefit from it. With two things that every member benefits from when it comes to main table negotiations is wages and healthcare, right? The wages should be way more than what they are. 9.8 is unacceptable. It shouldn't have been no less, to be honest with you, when you talk about inflation, when you're talking about cost of living and things of that nature. What we talking about the inflation being close to double digits, and I believe double digits sometime last year. He's bragging about a 9.8% compounded pay raise when he act like he don't know what happened in 2020, when he acting like he don't know that inflation was through the roof these past 2 years, right? Inflation last year, I think, was about 10%, and we only get for 3 years 9.8%. And then you got all these news people saying that another pandemic may happen. When that happens, factories get shut down, stores get shut down, things stop being made, prices start going up, demand start going up, right? This contract is not reflective of what we endured. It's just not. I mean, and Stand United has delivered some of the poorest contracts ever in the history of Local 100. And Richie Davis, he's cut from that cloth. And by him coming back with this contract, I mean, he should at least have the fortitude to say, I'm not bringing this contract back to my members. We deserve more. For Richie Davis to come back with a status quo contract, because this is what it is. For Richie Davis to come to the E-Board with a status quo contract shows the lack of respect, or maybe he just don't understand him being a transit, us being transit workers. He been so removed from driving a bus and being an actual transit worker, maybe he forgot. Maybe he forgot what it's like to be a transit worker. I mean, this is insane. And then the next smack in the face, that $4,000 essential worker cash bonuses, don't try to mask that as some type of hazard pay. Don't try to change. All of these agencies got some type of bonus. NYPD, DC 37, everybody got some type of bonus, right? But when you do the Richie Davis plan, right? And for those who don't know, he did not allow his vice presidents to be at the main table to negotiate what was going on, to have input or whatever the case is. And I'm not saying that with them being there, we would have gotten better, but I mean, this is insane. This is insane. Now they got it, like I said, they got some sweeteners in there. Buses, if you drive an articulated bus, you're going to get $2 extra an hour. So now you're going to get $4. So if you work 8 hours driving an articulated bus, or let's just say if you work 6 hours driving an articulated bus, you're going to get $24 extra a day. Wow. When in all reality, an articulated bus is just another whole bus. So the MTA is saving on the driver. They saving on $38-something an hour. They're saving on health care for an extra worker. And they saying that, you know what, you're only good for an extra $4 of just seat time only. Seat time only. But they put some sweeteners in there to get certain departments to vote. Yes, bus, the $4 articulated bus. Some bus operators go say hell yeah to that. You know what I'm saying? They go say hell yeah to that. I don't suggest that, but they're going to say hell yeah to it. The maintainers, they went up $350. They get $1,000 maintainer bonus now. People are going to say yes to that. You know what I'm saying? People going to say yes to that. But this is a status quo contract. This is a status quo contract. This contract is not reflective of what us transit workers went through these past 3 years. This is an embarrassment. This is an embarrassment. Right? This is an embarrassment. The best thing I think that's on here is the medical coverage therapy for autistic children. Now, it says new medical coverage. I would love to see what it consists of. I would love to see what it consists of, but he didn't put out the complete contract. He put out only the highlights. And when I said the complete contract will consist of the departmental demands, it will consist of what was gained, what was given back, what was added, what's new, and they're not saying nothing about that. If you notice, on this paper, at the main table, think about this. At the main table, they did not negotiate nothing for discipline. Right? Discipline should be a main table topic. And like I said, most of the titles, and specifically, you won't really be cracking $40 an hour until in 2 years. I mean, like I said, we should already be at $40 an hour. We should already be at $40 an hour. And for most of the titles here, It's going to take another 2 years before you get to $40 an hour. I mean, for them to always brag and say, we have the biggest transportation system in the world. We're world class. We're the best. We're heroes. They do not treat us like any of that. They treat us as second-class citizens. They treat us like we should be lucky to have a job. We see how they treat our family members when we pass away. Oh, we gave them $500,000. They should be lucky, right? The MTA, matter of fact, not the MTA, but Richard Davey, he just put on his what you call that, LinkedIn. He has a LinkedIn. He just put on his LinkedIn. Let me see if I saved it. I didn't save it on his phone, but I'm going to pull it up. He put on his LinkedIn that the ridership is now back up to 5.5 million people, right? All right, y'all getting y'all money. Y'all getting y'all money, but y'all still trying to tell us that we can't get our money, right? Y'all telling us that we can't get our money. And y'all not collecting the fare from the fare beaters, and y'all don't care about nothing else except holding your own workforce back, holding the employees back, right? This contract, man. And I am going, listen to me, I'm going to do a show very soon. I'm going to do a call-in show. We probably going to let it last for a few hours. I'm going to do a call-in show. And that call-in show, I want to hear from you guys, because they got to know that we're not taking this. They have to know that this was a sellout contract, and we're just not going to go for it. They must know that this is not a game. This is not a game. I mean, is there anybody in the chat? I want to know. I'm going to look at the chat right now. Is there anybody in the chat that agree with this? Is there anyone in the chat that think that this is a good deal? This is a horrible deal. I see Jose Figueroa say there's nothing on safety. He's right. He's right. What's going to change about safety? What's going to change about discipline? There's nothing about discipline for the main table. I honestly thought that I would have been more upset than this, but I guess that I'm not, that upset, because I kind of knew it was coming. But I know that once first of all, once this medicine wear off, got me acting calm right now. Once that wear off, I'm going to be upset. Probably on the live that we do sometime soon with the call-in live. But this contract is not good. To everybody at Triple SA, Mike Karube, I heard during your live, you said that you was explaining to your members who asked, well, where's the percentages from hazard pay? And you was like, well, it depends on what TWU negotiate. For anyone in Triple SA, do not expect more than these numbers. Do not expect more than these numbers. We all deserve these numbers. This is something that we need to stick on together. They do not appreciate the workers. They do not appreciate the supervisors. They don't appreciate any of that stuff. Right? Now, the thing is that our union leadership, and I don't know what kind of cloth that they are cut from. I don't know where they get their expertise from. I don't know who taught them how to negotiate. I just don't get it. But under this Stand United administration, which Richie Davis is well embedded in that cloth, they have gave us some of the most sellout contracts these past 13, 14 years, right? We fell back as an agency, as a New York City Transit agency represented by Local 100 with this very important and essential work that we do. We fell back to other agencies. There was once upon a time that we used to make more than NYPD. That is not the case anymore. There was once upon a time where we used to make more than a lot of these city agencies. This is not the case anymore. And specifically speaking, within these last 13 years was the first time with these past three presidents, John Samuelson, Tony Utano, Richie Davis, that a deadline wasn't a deadline. We worked past our contract. And then coincidentally, we worked past our contract and they come back with a contract that wasn't even worth staying out for. This is the first time in history during our lifetime that we've seen something like COVID-19 come. And this status quo contract of these percentages, it doesn't say, it doesn't narrate what happened during these times and how we should be compensated. If our wage percentages was put down every year since the inception of this union, and you look on a piece of paper and you see for 2023, 2024, 2025, you would have seen 9, 10, and 11%. And I'm just using those numbers. You would have said, Dad, what happened during that time that they got those high percentages for raises? What Richie Davis bring to the table, that 3.3 and that 3.5, you could put that next to the anything else, historically contractual raises, and you can't even tell that anything happened there. You can't even tell what even happened there. To everyone who's saying that you got members saying yes to this contract already, what I advise you to do is to, first of all, nobody should be saying yes, right? It's much faster to say no because some things are just absolutely no, and wages is one of them this time around. We didn't even see the departmental demand, so how can anyone vote yes? What if you vote yes to your own demise? What if you saying yes that they cutting your hours of overtime, or they increasing this type of discipline, or they doing this with the sick time or whatever? You notice Richie Davis, I heard that they wanted to attack our sick time. Did Richie Davis give out a provision about the sick time in the contract? You know what I'm saying? This contract should have at least for the next 3 years, at least 18%. 18%. At the least. They say they're going to give you a $4,000 essential worker bonus, in which in 2023 you're going to be getting $3,000 of that, right? Let me do a little math. You'll get $3,000 of that, right? So let me see. How much is that extra on our check? How much would that be extra on our check? An extra $3,000? That's going to be taxed? How much extra is that going to be? Right? Is that bonus really worth it? It's going to be like, with $3,000, it's probably going to be like $1,500. It's going to be like $1,500. That's what you're saying yes for? That bonus mean that much to you? The MTA know it does, because they know that most of us are living check to check. They know that if something was to happen to us, comp-wise, that they could force you back to work injured. You know what I'm saying? So this contract is not good. It's not good. It's not good. These wage percentages, where is that at? For the next 3 years, we're going to be getting less than $4. For the next 3 years, we're going to be getting less than $4, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's going on here. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable, people. And for once again, the e-board, I don't understand how they could vote yes to a contract that they only lived a couple of hours with, right? That I guaranteed that Richie Davis and his administration, the people who was negotiating the contract and the lawyers, probably gave some sob story and say, you know, this is the best that we could do. You know, they was trying to come for this, trying to come for that, trying to come for this. I mean, question your e-board. Ask them how did they vote, for one. For two, ask them how did they run through the contract that quick. Because, you know, you could go and read the contract fast, but you got to do research also. You got to see what DC 37 gave up, since they like to compare us to them. You have to see, you have to do research of inflation rates. You have to constantly look at that. You got to go to forecast of inflation rates to see what's going on. There's a lot of research that have to be done before you vote yes on a contract and pass it to the members. Now, what's going to happen is that we have to send them back to the table. We have to tell them that we are not happy with these wage percentages. We have to tell them that. We have to tell them that the 4,000 and essential worker cash bonuses is not enough. That was supposed to have been hazard pay. And Chuck Schumer said we were getting $25,000 a person for hazard pay. Do you guys understand that? How they went from 25,000 to 3,000 in 2023 and then 1,000 in 2024. How does that happen? That's not supposed to happen. But when you got people who's leading this union, mostly because of popularity, who has shown no true leadership, who have shown no true logical intelligence, we get the results like what's on this paper. We get the results of this, right? I see Lance said, keep that $3,000-$4,000. What happened to our COLA? COLA in the long run will be worth way more than $3,000-$4,000, right? There's nothing on Easy Pass, right? There's nothing on congestion pricing for all you people in buses who work in Manhattan. They already voted on it. Congestion pricing is coming. You're going to be charged to come to work. The union should have negotiated that now. The union should have negotiated that now. Right? Now, that enhanced medical benefits for retirees, is that Medicare Advantage? Is that new thing that they talking about? Who knows? This is just, did they call it it themselves? Let me see. Oh, this is just the highlights of your new contract. Now, everyone knows, along with highlights, you're going to have down points. Every Michael Jordan game was in a highlight. He had some bad games. Every LeBron game was not a highlight. He had some bad games, right? So they only showing us the highlights, and you got people saying, yes, 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 this is what we doing. If you notice, in the past, they used to use the word concession-free contract. This contract doesn't say concession-free. They say major economic and quality of life gains. Man, they call 9% They call 9% major economic and quality of life gains. Ladies and gentlemen, I advise you guys to get involved. Like I've said in the past, this job is going to be for college students soon. People are already having an issue raising a family off of these salaries here. But for some reason, we make it work, right? We have to start being responsible for what we are allowing this TWU Local 100 administration to get away with. It's been over a decade, and nothing has really changed with the way of how we conduct business with our reps. And the reps been playing this wild mind game to make you think that you work for them, when in all actuality, every single union rep in this local works for the members. From the president all the way down to these chief line stewards. They all work for you, us, right? This contract is not representative of the sacrifice transit workers experienced these past 3 years. This contract is not representative of the word essential, heroes that the MTA and the union love to use. This contract is not reflective of that. This contract is reflective of someone who's a part of the go along, get along gang will go with. This contract is reflective of when you don't have logical people who have heart at the table to tell the MTA absolutely not. No deal. Richie Davis, he should be embarrassed as a union president, a black union president, because he likes to throw that around when it's beneficial to him. To come back to the bargaining, to come back to the members with this. He should be embarrassed. He should be ashamed. He should have told the MTA, there's no way possible that I could bring this contract to my members. And like I said, we are going to be in trouble if we don't take a stance on the issues that's going on here. We are going to be in trouble. We have to send them back to the table and tell them to rethink and come back with a contract, not this trash, but come back to us with a contract that's reflective of the experience that transit workers went through these past 3 years. And I just don't get it. I see people writing in the comments saying, oh, people are saying yes to this contract. How can you say yes when you don't know what the concessions are? You are possibly saying yes to your own demise. You're possibly saying yes to a give back. You're possibly saying yes to saying, you know what, MTA, you are right. I do not want or deserve to live in a city in which I work. You're right, MTA. Make me a transit refugee. Make me have to travel from Connecticut. Make me have to travel from Jersey. Make me have to travel from Delaware and Pennsylvania. Mess up my quality of life by not allowing me to live comfortably in the city and raise a family. Make me spend 2 hours one way traveling to work, 4 hours round trip, 5 hours round trip. This is a smack in every member face. And even the people that's down with Stan United and Richie Davis, be honest. You guys know that this contract is trash. To the workers, do not allow them to come into your crew rooms, to come into your bus depots, to go to your gang quarters, to come into your yards, your terminals, and say that this contract is worth what it is, because it is not. It is not. Ask them questions. Challenge them, specifically your e-board members. If you don't have anything, at least know your worth here. At least know your value here. At least know that you more than 3% a year. And don't let them fool you and say, well, you know, NYPD got 3%. You know what? Actually, NYPD got 4s, right? So we don't got the best deal in the city. NYPD got 4s for the same years that we got, right? Don't let them fool you and say, well, NYPD got 3% or 4% and DC 37 got 3%. We got 3%. There's a difference between 3% on $100,000 and 3% on $70,000. There's a big difference on that. So don't let them fool you with the propaganda of the percentages. Oh, this percentage, no, how much, the same way how they put here. You see how they put here? What it say? Total hour increase in contract. You see how they put it there? That's what we should be comparing it to. The total increase for the same time for the contract, not no percentages. Whoever made the union fall for the traps of, well, a pattern bargaining, where if this union get 3%, this union get 3%, we all make different base salaries. We all make different base salaries. So what is 3% when we talking about the dollar amount? Right? Now, I did a show, and I did a show where I showed what the MTA wanted. Now, I didn't really see anything what the MTA wanted on a union highlight sheet, of course, because the union only go put what they preserve, what they fake fought for. And, you know, there are some good things on here. I'm not saying that everything is bad, but the things that really matter, that's universally accepted, is discipline, wages, and health care. We lost in all those categories. Sean Paul McFarland said we got 9.8%. He can't even imagine what Metro North and Long Island Railroad get. Once again, Sean, look, I'm going to tell you this, right? They make more an hour than us, right? So if they did get 3%, let's say Metro North get 3% and Long Island Railroad get 3%. And I think for the engineers or conductors, they get like $45 an hour. $45 an hour, 3% on $45 an hour is different than 3% on $36 an hour, right? There's a difference, right? So they will be getting more on their 3% than the 3% we will be getting on ours. That is the sleight of hand that this union, and this union isn't by themselves. This is the sleight of hand that they do to try to sell contracts. I guarantee you, if Richie Davis put out a highlight video or video talking about the contract, he is going to say, well, DC 37 got this. And then I just do a video the other day telling you guys what the issue was with the contract. That was the healthcare benefits, and that it was the expiration of the contract. They got the 3 years. I give them that, but it don't mean nothing because they in the bed with the man with Kathy Hochul or whoever the governor gonna be at that time. Anyway, they have a history of being in the bed with the governor, but we can't allow them to use that the percentage comparison or the wage, the patent bargaining percentage is not the same. We do not get the same base salaries and all that other stuff. Lance Jones says, where's our 10% night differential? He's 100% right. So once again, night differential is not addressed on this contract, right? Every NYPD, sanitation, FDNY, corrections, DC 37, they all get 10% of their hourly salary for night differential. We do not get that. We do not get that. So, Timory Killian said night diff still. I guess so. I guess so. Yeah, nothing on longevity pay, which is crazy. Nothing on that. We honestly should be getting 5 weeks vacation after 5 years. There was no movement on that. There wasn't movement on a lot of things, no easy pass, no longevity pay, no this is just crazy. This is crazy. No COLA, no expansion on night differential, nothing. Nothing. The things that really matter to transit workers, we're not getting it. It's obvious we're not getting it. And you know what? It is what it is, but it's time for us to fight. It's time for the fight. Let's not fall. I see somebody put hazard pay. Let's not fall for the $4,000 in essential worker cash bonuses. It's hazard pay. That has nothing to do with nothing. That has nothing to do with nothing. Lance, I don't think that we should be patent bargaining with anyone. We run a very unique system. We have the biggest transportation system in North America. We should not be patent bargaining with anyone, not Chicago, not San Francisco, not nowhere. We are a one-of-a-kind agency, and we must bargain like we are one-of-a-kind agency. We're not setting trends. We are following them. I truly believe that Stand United, their high representation, have a thing for management. I think they got a fetish for management. I think they see themselves as managers, and they think like managers, and they don't think like bosses. They don't think like leaders. They don't think like fighters. They think like management because they want to be management, and a lot of them, you'd be surprised, they got the union titles and still afraid of management, right? They are still afraid of management. This contract is not reflective of a union administration that is afraid of management. This contract is reflective of the status quo, as if, once again, I got to continue to say this. I do not want this to get lost upon you. This is not reflective of what we've been through these past 3 years. It's not reflective. It's not reflective of the hazards that that happen on our jobs. There's no added hazard pay. We work in very hazardous conditions. You'd be surprised how many train operators, conductors, people who work in the subways, period, track workers, structure, and all that other stuff, they come down with cancer or other diseases that speaks to the hazards of the physical hazards of our jobs, right? the buses. You work on the bus when the buses was diesel. A lot of bus people was catching cancer. This contract is not reflective of the dangers that we have on this job. I have a whole entire study from, I believe, 2005 that explains all the hazards of our job, and for some reason we still cannot get hazard pay for certain titles. For some reason we can't get hazard pay for certain titles, right? This is a status quo contract. This is a contract that is not reflective of the heroes, the essential worker, all that stuff that they was calling us when they needed us, when they was, doing a smoke screen saying that, we need our essential workers, transit workers, this, that, this, that, this, that. We lost more workers than any one agency in the United States, and he came back with this trash. He came back with this trash. But what I advise, for the members, if you care about your lives moving forward, if you care to provide a better life for your family, if you care to know what your worth is and don't sell yourself short, if you care to stand for something instead of falling for anything, I advise you to vote no. And like I said, in the future, we not done. We not done because we don't know. And once again, I'm going to continue to say this too. For everyone who's saying they're going to vote yes, you don't know what the departmental demands are yet. You do not know what the departmental demands yet. Noah Crocco, my guy, he said should be 20 years to retire. That's a fact. What is their plans to address the retirement situation with the MTA? What are we doing legislatively? Right? We must say absolutely not to this contract. The E-Board fell to protect us from this atrocious document that the union, that Richie Davis should have been embarrassed to bring to us. I'm going to, sometime soon, it's either going to be this week or next week, I'm going to do a town hall show where I want members to call in, and I want to hear what you agree with the contract, if you will vote yes, what you don't agree with the contract. But I want to wait till all the departmentals come out before we do that. So now we just got to wait for the departmentals to come out so we can see what it is. Now I need for you guys to make sure that you donate to the Cash App. The Cash App is pinned to the bottom of the page. The Cash App is $ Progressive Action 100. Donate via Cash App. If you're watching on YouTube, send a super chat, or you could donate through the Cash App also. I will be checking back in with more information as I get it, as far as with the departmentals. I am going to put together a very long show, possibly 2, 3, 4 hours of hearing from members, where we're going to be talking about the contract and in an open forum. In an open forum, I think that the union need to hear what we got to say as a whole. I think that the MTA should know that we're not going to accept this, and we're going to make sure our voices are heard, right? Thanks for tuning in. Progressive Action News. I'll be back as soon as they drop the departmental so we can really see what the union gave back, what they sold us out on, and what the true deal is. Like I said, this only say highlights of your new contract. Every player that had a highlight in their life. I want to see what happened when those cameras went off. I'll catch you guys later. Share out the show. Peace.